Okay, so hands up who dreams of finding somebody who's going to take all the business side of their creative work out of their hands and leave them heaps of time to just create. Me, I do. You know, someone to do the social media, someone to do the branding, someone to come up with the strategy, make the cold calls, and get all of that kind of nuts and bolts stuff that really doesn't make most creative people feel super excited out of their hands and let the creativity flow. It's a common dream. For 20 years, I've been working in the arts as a creative person myself, but also as a policy maker and doing cultural strategic planning, working with so many different creatives from like visual artists, musicians, writers, performers, that kind of thing for years. And it's just the most common thing that, we all put our heads in our hands and say, someone take this away. But the reality is, sadly, bad news, unless you know all the right people or you get really lucky, chances are you're going to have to do this stuff for at least a certain amount of time for yourself. Even most so-called overnight successes usually spent, like sometimes decades, you know, doing their own social media and building their websites and making their flyers and coming up with their branding and doing the cold calls. What I do know is that for a lot of creative people, this stuff doesn't come naturally. Standard business courses or business approaches don't always really apply to creatives because we think differently. Our art is a holistic part of who we are on every level. It's like what we're born to do in some respects. So what I've created with the Startup e-course is a really simple step-by-step process that's going to make sure that even if you've been in business for ages, you're ticking all the boxes as far as that kind of business strategy side goes. So we're going to go through everything from, your legals, your financing, your vision, your mission statement, your brand, your online universe, some marketing strategies, all of those business fundamentals that will either get you started if you're just starting to take this seriously or just considering taking this seriously, or is going to make sure that you've not you're not letting yourself down in certain aspects. You might have, parts nailed, but there might be certain areas that you're skimming over or not really getting done as well as they can be. There are a few different ways you can go about it. There's a basic work at your own pace option. There's one where you can get some really personalized email support from me and we do a strategy that's really tailored exactly to what you're doing and where you're struggling. And there's a consulting one where we'll get on the phone as well and really like talk things out. Check it out. If you've got any questions, let me know. If you sign up and you have questions as you go, you can send me emails as you go. That's part of the process. So please check out the Startup e-course because I want to see creative people putting their stuff out in the world and doing well and thriving.